and we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So the structural concept of it's like putting together a team,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you have to look at the long term. So I found if you can do that, you should be okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, getting that done is a problem, you know, because first of all, a youngster, they want that car, they want these physical things, and the clothes and those type of things. And that means if they concentrate on education, that they won't be able to have those things.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Okay, tell us about it.
You can have them, you just won't get them right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, idea, are they willing to wait?
You have to.
Yeah.
Because the satisfaction is much more when you wait and you earn it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see yourself making progress, obtaining these goals. Like I say, owning your own home.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 18, 19, or 20, that may not seem like something that can take place, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens in steps and processes. It's slow,
Mm-hmm.
but you see yourself making progress. And like I said before, the payoff once it's accomplished is great. I found walking across the stage,
mm-hmm.
earning my degree, I found that moment
mm-hmm.
after staying up
all
late
the
at night.
sacrifices,
Yes.
right, that you made, right.
But I found
paid off.
Absolutely, and I found that feeling
Mm-hmm.
to be is something you can hold a lifetime. And I found out I didn't miss anything in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was something I should have done 10 years beforehand,
mm-hmm.
but I learned the hard way. So what I try and get young people to understand, you don't have to do it the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from
right.
the mistakes that I've made,
mm-hmm.
and we can get it done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, tell me this. What about the parental influence? How do you get around that? There's so many youngsters out there, you know, that have one parent family. You know, they don't have a complete family. How do you get around that when maybe the economics almost force them to work?
Well, here's the thing you have to understand. One parent or two parents, you have to trust your parents,
mm-hmm.
because your parents are not going to purposely tell you anything
mm-hmm.
that is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and even so, I understand sometimes resources have a lot to do
yes.
with dropping out of high school.
Definitely.
But it still cuts down your resources in the long term. So
mm-hmm.
if there's only one parent, that parent is doing the best that they can possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
You find you have to put together other resources.
Mm-hmm.
When your parents say, well, I can't afford this right now,
mm-hmm.
but later.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand that your parent is doing the best that they can possibly can. So you help out.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing worse than have your parents work hard and you're not pulling your weight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a team, no matter how.
It's a team concept.
It's going to always be
mm-hmm.
a team concept, mm-hmm. because we never complete anything by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
There
right.
have been plenty of people that have assisted me
right.
get to this point.
Right. Well, that's one of the theories of this program is that you didn't make it by yourself. There's no one out here made it by themselves.
Oh, no doubt.
If in fact they didn't have, it wasn't peer pressure or the guidance of older person. That's why I always emphasize that the young people, they should really have a mentor of an older person, a senior citizen. I like to get those two groups together, senior citizen and the young people in high school, because I've had that type of show, but they don't realize the older people that have retired, they are fiddling around with the garden or going to baseball. They wasted a lot of talent because there's no one out here, there's no one walking made it by themselves.
No,
Me, nobody else. Is the fact that you have to have someone that you can go to that you feel you have confidence in.
Oh, absolutely. Just now, I actually still have two mentors
mm-hmm.
that I've had since 1999 that
mm-hmm.
work on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So each time I feel that I'm going to make a major decision,
mm-hmm. yes,
I give them a call, see if they
right.
have time. And the most important you have to make sure that you trust these individuals.
Right, exactly.
And I found for the most part, they have your best interests at heart.
Right.
So you have to feel comfortable, and you can't make it without one.
Right.
You can't make it without one.
Well, really, that's what some people fail to realize, and the independence that you want, you can't obtain it unless you have a mentor, in your life, because the mistakes that you made, you don't want someone else to make the same mistake. Like what you're doing is wonderful. Here, you made a mistake. Actually not getting your
correct,
and you found out the hard way.
Absolutely.
And what you're trying to do is tell, hey, the hard way is not the best way.
No, it doesn't work. It takes a lot of time. Right before I came on today, I called one of my mentors to let him know what was taking place, and he said, "Well, this is something that's been in the works. You've worked for this, but you also have to understand when something goes well, you share that information. Just like my completing high school, I was ashamed about it when I first went back.
Right.
But I put together mentors then, and I give them information, let them know what's going on with myself, so they keep me on track.
So that's very important. Just how do you think youngsters should go by deciding a mentor? How do you do that? I mean, you just can't pick them out the air, because they don't send in a resume or nothing.
Well, it's a selection process. One, you want to try and find some things that you may have in common, but you also want to make sure that the individuals that you select, you look at their backgrounds and the things that they have accomplished.
Right.
You may see some things that you like about them, and you want to know how they got to that
Obtain
point.
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
right.
so that's what I've been able to do. I have the individuals that have accomplished some things, and I said, wow, how did they do that? And I started spending time with them, from very simple to going to lunch, just talking.
Right.
And you find out over the time, it becomes a mentorship, but it becomes a friendship as well.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we have to understand. It's important to have friendships along with these mentorships, because they're long lasting. So it's a selection process, and you take your time. You find people that have things in common, things that you want to do, and you just go about it that way.
And in doing that, you also develop the type of friendship that is long lasting, to the point that you yourself become someone else's mentor. You know what I mean? Well, you understand that.
Well, that has happened, and I've never really seen myself as a formal mentor.
Yeah.
But I have young
You're
individuals.
one now. You give me an example. Two people, to the youngsters out there. Hey, look, you gotta have an education. You gotta, especially a high school. That's the basic education. If you don't have a high school diploma, your charts indicate that limits your income, period.
Well, and that's true. And like I said, once people get a chance, young people get a chance to see this, I'm hoping that regardless of how difficult it may be, they will say, well, if this guy made it, I can take time out and do the same thing as well.
Because some of the mentors are in the field of athletics, and you see when these different high school athletes are going to making their selection, some of them actually quit high school, and some of them quit college. They don't finish college. A high percentage of athletes don't finish college. A lot of people don't, and I mean, these are #1 athletes too. But what happens is that you look down the road later and you see where, like you were saying, they be sitting around somewhere, and all their athletic ability is gone, and they had to depend on their education. And the first thing, like you were in a position where the guy has said, well, Mr. Walker, you've done a great job. We're impressed with you. Your experience is excellent, and this is what we need. But I have to have the requirements. You have to have at least a high school education.
Absolutely.